A very good evening and welcome to the national broadcast. I'm Malsha Dharmavardhana.
A very good evening, I'm Lakshit Edirisinghe. We start off by taking a look at the top stories for tonight.
Minister Mangala Samaraweera reiterates that he will bid farewell to politics if it is proven that the MCC agreement is unconducive to the country. The US releases a communique saying that the agreement will not pave the way to transfer ownership of any land to their country or to the leasing of such lands. The president says that the biggest investment on behalf of the future of the country is to provide a quality education to children. Minister Mangala Samaraweera says that Gotabaya Rajapaksa has not withdrawn American citizenship. The Janata Vimukti Peramuna says that there is no dispute in handing over the first preference vote to the Compass and the second preference to any other candidate. Air pollution in Colombo city increases.
On to those and other stories in detail now, starting with your local stories. Venerable Ududumbara Kashyapatera has called off the fast he was engaged in, demanding to withdraw the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Agreement today. He has ended this agitation as a result of favourable response received from the government. Senior advisor to the Prime Minister Charit Ratwatte, upon meeting Venerable Ududumbara Kashyapatera today, has requested him to present appropriate amendments if there are proposals in the MCC agreement which are detrimental to the interest of the country. The Prime Minister's advisor has also presented a copy of Millennium Challenge Cooperation Agreement to the Venerable Thera.
Now, meanwhile, the United States has welcomed the decision of the Cabinet of Ministers to approve the $480 million Millennium Challenge Cooperation Development Assistance Grant. The US Embassy in Sri Lanka made these remarks while issuing an official statement today. According to the statement, Sri Lanka has requested this support, which is expected to benefit at least 11 million Sri Lankans through the funding of government and private sector identified needs. The programs supported by this grant will reduce traffic congestion, improve public transportation in Colombo, upgrade provincial roads and expand existing Government of Sri Lanka initiatives to improve land administration and strengthen the land rights of Sri Lankans. The statement further read that the United States will not own or lease any land under this development assistance grant. The statement further indicated that Sri Lanka will oversee and manage all grant-funded projects throughout the implementation of the 5-year grant assistance agreement. The statement added that the United States of America is looking forward to continue the partnership with Sri Lanka and to support its efforts to reduce poverty through economic growth.
Minister Mangala Samaraweera says that he will leave politics if it is proven that the MCC agreement is detrimental to the interest of the country. He was addressing a media briefing in Colombo today.
Minister, post-election, it was India UAP government held general elections. How are you planning to proceed with the MCC post-election?
No, as I mentioned, post-elections, and we are very confident of winning the elections and having our own president. After that, this will be presented to Parliament, and the Parliament will debate it. And once Parliament approves, we will go ahead with implementing this proposal.
Many debates and arguments are prevailing in the country over the signing of the proposed agreement between Millennium Challenge Corporation and the Sri Lankan government. Critics say that a great deal of misunderstanding has occurred among the people over the agreement. In an exclusive interview with the national television, former Central Bank Deputy Governor Dr. W.A. Wijewardena said that massive benefits will be provided to the nation through the proposed development assistance grant. The Millennium Challenge Corporation is a bilateral U.S. foreign aid agency established by the U.S. Congress in 2004. It is an independent agency separate from the U.S. State Department and USAID. The MCC provides time-limited grants focused on promoting economic growth, reducing poverty and strengthening institutions in developing countries which are committed to good governance, economic freedom and investing in their citizens. MCC has invested more than $13 billion in compact and threshold programs and country-led projects over 20 countries across Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America and the Pacific.
There's a great deal of misunderstanding about the agreement which the Sri Lanka government is proposing to sign with the Millennium Challenge Corporation, which is commonly known as MCC, which is simply an aid donor arm of the United States government. This particular arm is, though it is funded by the US government, it is an independent body managed by an independent board of directors, and therefore there is an arm's length distance between the US government and this particular MCC. The negotiations to get these funds from the MCC was started sometime as far back as 2016, and it took about 3 years time for Sri Lanka government and MCC authorities to finalize the agreement. The present agreement is proposing to give a grant of $480 million to Sri Lanka to be disposed over a period of 5 years to attain two particular economic objectives. Objective number one is to concern about the development of the road system in Sri Lanka and the modernization of the public transport system. Objective number two is concerned with the conversion of the land registry from the paper-based land titles to e-land titles and improving the capacity of the valuation department of the government. In the case of the first objective, there are three sub-projects. The three sub-projects are concerned with: number one is to improve the road network within the western province to ease the present traffic congestion by improving 8 roads that feed the city of Colombo from Nigambu, from Kadawatha, from Hangwalla, from Homagama, from Piliyandala, from Moratuwa and Battaramula and so forth. The second project relating to the improvement of the public transport system will target to introduce modern technology to bus services so that present the e-ticketing system will be introduced to public buses. The third category relating to the road development relates to the development of a ring road network connecting the outstation towns like Dambulla, Mahiyangana, Bibila, Monragala, Ratnapura, Kayagalla and Kurunagala and then back to Dambulla by developing class A roads and also connecting those towns with the towns within that particular ring by developing class B roads. There has been a misunderstanding and disinformation which has been spread in the country that the project aims at creating an economic corridor connecting Colombo with Trincomalee, and there is no such corridor at all in the proposed project. What has been presented in the project is the map relating to the development of the road system in the western province and so also the development of the ring road network among connecting all these major cities. Therefore, when the project is completed, it will actually provide greater benefit to Sri Lankan people so that they would be able to travel easily and also travel on good roads, and also they would be able to get a loan from banks easily because their land titles are now e-titles, and e-titles can be pledged with the banks as security easily. In my opinion, overall the project provides lots of benefits, and since it's a grant and not a loan, Sri Lanka doesn't have to repay this money.
Declaring open at the auspicious moment of the release of the waters of the Kaluga Reservoir under the Moragahakanda Kaluganga irrigation project will take place tomorrow, vesting in the ownership of the general public of the government institutions constructed in the Ambana New Town will be also conducted tomorrow. President Maithripala Sirisena will preside over these events. The Kaluganga Reservoir has been constructed by blocking the Kaluganga in Pallegama in Laggala. The capacity of the reservoir is 248 million cubic meters. The length of the main dam is 618 meters and the height is 68 meters. The water feeding area are located in an extent of 128 square kilometers. The Kaluganga Reservoir supplies water to 3,000 resettled families living in the lower valley of the Kaluganga. A project is also being implemented to allow the flow of the waters of the reservoir through the old Hattota anti-cut and to irrigate year-long an extent of 2,000 acres of land. The surplus water will be released to the Moragahakanda Reservoir. The two reservoirs will be linked by a canal of 9 kilometers long. Accordingly, water being accumulated in the Kaluganga Reservoir will release to the Moragahakanda Reservoir at the speed of 35 cubic meters per second. Moragahakanda Kaluga Reservoir project is the final project of Mahavali Master Plan. Several state organisation development at a cost of 1,200 million rupees in the Abana new town will also be vested with the general public tomorrow. The President said that the main event for tomorrow is the opening of the Kaluga Reservoir. He added that water is being carried to Moragahakanda through 7-kilometer tunnel. The President further said that the Great Canal will carry water to Moragahakanda, to Kurunagala in the northwest and also to Minipe in Rajarata. A sum of 23 billion rupees has been spent on the project. He further said that work on big reservoirs have been completed and the other big canals has been dug. President Maithripala Sirisena also said that the water problem in Anuradhapura, Polonnaruwa, Kurunagala and Trincomalee districts will be resolvedly completed. He added that people in Madirigiri and Rajarata will never come across with water problem in agricultural activities.
Now, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the Rajapaksas who had blamed Muslim ministers of the government at the time of the Easter attacks maintained silence over the killing of the ISIS leader. He further reiterates that they who never hesitated to criticize government Muslim ministers are afraid to blame either the ISIS organization or its leadership. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was addressing a youth meeting in Samanture in Ampara today. A group of youth, MPs and ministers were present on this occasion. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said that a revolution of the era has commenced on the 8th of January. The Prime Minister added that on this day they have introduced democracy, freedom and reconciliation in place of dictatorship and racism of the Rajapaksa regime. He further said that the Pohottu of the Rajapaksas is going in a different direction. They say the East will be handed over to the Muslims and there is no place for Tamils. Pillayan will be appointed as Chief Minister. The Prime Minister said that the same people tell the South that the government is engaged in a secret pact with Tamil parties. This is the way of spreading communalism. They have been engaged in such activities since the Easter bomb attack. The Prime Minister has questioned whether reconciliation could be established with such people. He added that the main objective of the group is to accumulate votes. A meeting between the Prime Minister and Bishop of Batticaloa, Right Reverend Ponnaya Joseph, has taken place this morning. The Prime Minister has discussed issues pertaining to problems faced by the Tamil community and the present situation in the Batticaloa district with the Bishop of Batticaloa. Thereafter, the Prime Minister has visited at the Anaipandi Sri Sitti Vigneshwaran Kovil and received blessings. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has declared open an office of the New Democratic Front in the Urani Junction in Batticaloa. Later on, he has presided over the location of the opening of an office of the New Democratic Front in Karuppankaini.
Presidential candidate of the New Democratic Front, Sajid Premadasa, says that the funds allocated by the Treasury for the rulers of the country will be utilized for the well-being of the general public. He was addressing a public rally in Hasalaka town today. SLFP members, former Vice-Chancellor of Minipe Pradeshiya Sabha Mahanama Wickremesinghe and organisers of the Hasalaka Town Division Gamini Chandrasiri have joined the meeting to extend support to Sajid Premadasa. Sajid Premadasa said that some inquire whether there is money to carry out the work that they have promised to do. The NDF candidate said that there is money as they will invest in people. Candidate said that there is money as they will invest in the people. The money spent to maintain rulers up to now. Thereafter, duty-free vehicle permits will not be provided from President to the parliamentarians. All these funds will be utilised for the national development of the country. Sajid Premadasa further said that gallant hero Kularatne had made a great sacrifice to safeguard the country. He also said that recently a female foreign media person has inquired from his rival on the operations carried out by the forces in the battleground. He said that this question was raised to place the forces in difficulty. Sajid Premadasa said that the reply was that neither he nor his brother was not in charge of forces then. It was the army commander who was in charge of the forces. He added that, however, for 10 years and several months, they said that it was the family of the Rajapaksa which has safeguarded the country. The real victory of the country was Sarath Fonseca. He had also recalled the final words of his father that the truth will triumph one day. Sajid Premadasa further said that it is certain that common masses will make it through these words on the 16th of November.
අවුරුදු 10කුත් මාස ගානකට පස්සේ මාධ්‍යවේදීනියක් ඉදිරියේ පාපොච්චාරණය කරනවා මම නෙවෙයි යුද හමුදාව මෙහෙව්වේ කියලා. එහෙනම් මිත්‍රවරුනි, ඒ සත්‍ය ජයග්‍රහණය කරා සේම 16 වෙනිදාට මේ රටේ තමුන්නාන්සලා වැනි සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාව ප්‍රේමදාසගේ පුතාව පත් කරලා සත්‍ය ජයග්‍රහණය කරනවා නිසකයි කියලා මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ කියන්න කැමතියි.
Another public meeting to establish the victory of Sajid Premadasa was held at Khandakati Pradesh Sabha Junction today. The candidate was warmly received by people on this occasion. Sajid Premadasa said that they must safeguard the older generation and that they must also show their gratitude to them. Sajid Premadasa further said that as a result they will increase the allowance for adults to 3,000 rupees from 2,000 rupees. Measures will also be taken to provide social security. He also said that the state employers will be treated well. The retired persons will also be looked after. Sajid Premadasa also said that he will present his policy statement shortly.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa says that priority will be given to women in his policy statement. He made these remarks addressing a public rally in Kalawana today.
අපි වෙනුවෙන් අපි අතරම නැගෙන බලාපොරොත්තුව මේ සමහර දිනු මහින්දනම් උතුම් සොයුර ඇසූරේ ගුණදම් පිරු අභිමන්දරු කෝඨාභය නාමේ වැඩ කරන අපේ විරුවා බෞද්ධිමක පෙමින් සවදා රට රකින්න කෙනෙක් වේනම් ඒ ඔබයි උතුම් මිනිසා වැඩ කරන අපේ
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa said that his policy statement will especially focus attention on the persons with disabilities. He further said that prior to his arrival to the meeting, he has signed an agreement of understanding with the Organization of Disabled Persons. He said that according to the Charter of the United Nations, relief will be handed over to them. The SLPP presidential candidate further said that priority will also be given to women in his policy statement. He added that more women attend their rallies. Gotabaya Rajapaksa further said that sanitary facilities of families will also be given special attention.
කාන්තාවන් වෙනුවෙන් විශාල අවධානයක් යොමු කරලා තිබෙනවා. අපි දන්නවා තමන්ගේ පවුලේ සනීප ආරක්ෂාව පිළිබඳව වඩාත්ම අවධානයක් යොමු කරන්නේ කාන්තාවන්. ඒ වගේම සෞඛ්‍ය පිළිබඳව වඩාත්ම අවධානයක් යොමු කරන්නේ කාන්තාවන්. අපි මේ කාන්තා හිංසනය නැති කරන්නට ඒ වගේම කාන්තාව වෙනුවෙන් අධ්‍යාපනය කාන්තාවන් තමයි දරුවන්ගේ අධ්‍යාපනය වෙනුවෙන් විශාල අවධානයක් යොමු කරන්නේ. අපි අපේ පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේම අධ්‍යාපනය වෙනුවෙන් විශාල මුදලක් ආයෝජනය කරනවායි කියන එක තමුන්නාන්සලාට අවධාරණය කරන්නට ඕනේ.
presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa has also attended the public rally in Agalawatta today.
Minister Mangala Samaravida says that Gotabaya Rajapaksa has not abandoned his American citizenship. The minister further says that his spouse and children are still US citizens.
What should be of greater concern to all Sri Lankans at this moment is not the MCC agreement, which, as I showed, will bring many benefits to all Sri Lankans, but we should be more concerned about the fact that one of the principal candidates of the presidential elections to be held next week has still not renounced his US citizenship, and his wife and son continue to be fully fledged citizens of the United States of America. In order to renounce the citizenship, as you know, a US passport holder must obtain what is called Certificate of Loss of Nationality with the US Treasury, where the DS4079 is approved for denunciation. In the first 6 months of 2019, about 1,090 have been officially recorded with who have denounced their US citizenship. However, there is no approval. There is no approved DS4079 for Gotabaya Rajapaksa in any of the 94 district courts of the United States of America. We have checked in all 94 district courts, and there is absolutely no indication that his nationality has been renounced. But of course, the filing could well be sitting here in the US Embassy in Colombo to be cleared. Usually transactions and procedural backlog between the US Treasury and the US State Departments, we have been told, take to 16 to 24 months to clear. And it is also a very lengthy process due to the taxation portions if income and assets are greater than the stipulated amount. I believe the stipulated amount is $2 million US. So until all tax files also have been cleared, this renunciation will not take place. Even after the approval by the State Department, there is a further 6 to 9 months with the US Treasury when the DS4079 was approved, will be approved for renunciation. Therefore, it is extremely clear that Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa remains a US citizen today while being a candidate for the presidency of Sri Lanka. In fact, in the unlikely event of Gotabaya Rajapaksa winning on the 16th of November, Sri Lanka will have a president who is a US citizen. Therefore, I would also like to challenge the Gotabaya Rajapaksa to produce the certificate of loss of nationality and the DS4079, proving his denunciation of his American citizenship before the country goes to the polls next week.
Now, the United National Party, in a letter to President Maithripala Sirisena, says that the Hiru media network, since the commencement of the presidential election campaign, has been presenting news and other programs favouring a certain candidate. A letter signed under the signature of Party General Secretary Akila Viraj Karyavasam says that the complaints have been filed against the institute on several occasions, but a favourable response has not been received. The General Secretary said that complaints have also been lodged with the Election Commission and its chairman on several occasions. He adds that, however, no appropriate measures have been taken. The communique further points out that dissemination of news items without truth to the people would create an impact on the free thinking of the voters. It adds that the UNP believes that such practice would create a direct impact on the conducting of a free and fair election. Meanwhile, Politburo member of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna Lal Kanta says that there is no problem of giving first preference to the Compass and the second preference to any other candidate at the presidential election. He made these remarks participating in a public meeting of the National People's Power in Ambilipitiya. Lal Kanta of the National People's Power said that there is a ballot paper of 2 feet and 2 inches long. There are 35 names in this paper. He has requested voters to place their vote to the Compass on the 12th position. He also said that some people are contemplating on the person to whom they vote as the second preference. Lal Kanta said that they could first place their preference to Anura Kumar Disanayaka and their second preference to any other candidate of their choice.
දෙන්න ඕන. ඒක තමයි දැන් මේ වෙනකොට කල්පනා කරන්නේ. හැබැයි දෙන ගමන්ම කල්පනා කරනවා. ගෝඨයිද පොඩ්ඩක් හරි මේක මිස් වෙලා අරයයිද? පොඩ්ඩක් හරි මේක මිස් වෙලා අනිකයිද? ඔහොම සාකච්ඡා තියෙනවා. දැන් අපිට කියන්න දෙන්නේ මෙච්චර අපිට එක දීලා ඔය දෙක හරි තුන හරි තියෙන එකක් කාට ගහගත්තත් අපිට කමක් නැහැ. Taman කැමති ඕන කෙනෙකුට ඒක ගහගන්න කියලා කියන්න කවුරු හරි එහෙම ඇහුවොත් ඒ නිසා කියන්න අඬ සහෝදරයාට මාලිමාවට එක ගහලා ඔයා දෙක එයා කරත්තන්න ඕන නම් මෙහාට ගහගන්න මෙයා.
Here are some of the opinions expressed by several presidential candidates.
සෞඛ්‍ය සම්පන්න පරිසරයක් තුළ ජීවත් වීම අයිතියක්. Right to life in a healthy environment.
Mahesh Seranayake of the National People's Movement said that they will give priority to the concept of right to life in a healthy environment. All activities in the connection will be conducted through a ministry. Mahesh Seranayake further said that they hope to engage in environmental conservation through a centrally controlled procedure. He also said that 20 ministries will be operated in a scientific manner under their administration. Presidential candidate of the National People's Movement also said that stern legislation will be implemented. Duminda Nagamu of the Frontline Socialist Party of the National People's Movement said that Muslim people in the recent past were compelled to confront substantial communal onslaught, especially in Darga town and Beruwala. During Rajapaksa regime, incidents of setting to fire to properties have been reported. Suppressive action have been carried out. Commenting on the state of events on the present administration, he said that racial problems have been created in areas such as Kandi and Digana. He added that both groups seek votes through intimidation and ethnic tension within a communal background. Nagamur further said that politics of extremist group prevailed till the Easter attack. The Frontline Socialist Party candidate further said that massive state of frenzy have been created among people who have been faced a 30-year-old war. Independent candidate of Venerable Aparakke Panyananda Thera said that there are 225 parliamentarians today and around 14,000 provincial councillors. The Venerable Thera said that his main intention is to dissolve parliament and restrict the number of seats from 6 or to 65 as in days of the past. The independent presidential candidate added that he will dissolve the provincial councils. Siritunga Jayasuriya of United Socialist Party said that there is a word of taboo for Gotabaya. This is Millennium Challenge Agreement. He added that there is another banned word for him, that is America. Siritunga Jayasuriya further said that Gotabaya Rajapaksa will not comment by any means on Millennium Challenge Agreement until the conclusion of the election. He further said that this is because if he comes to power, he will definitely implement this fact, as it is Americanized person who has received foreign citizenship in this country.
Meanwhile, President Maithripala Sirisena says that the biggest investment that a government could make on behalf of the future of a country is to create more intellectuals through provision of quality education. He made these remarks participating in several events held in connection with development of schools in the Polonnaruwa district. The President has initially declared open the 3-storied teacher hostel at the Pulatisipura Faculty of Education. A sum of 99.8 million rupees has been spent on the construction of the building under the Pibidemu Polonnaruwa District Development Program. President Maithripala Sirisena has also vested in the ownership of students the newly constructed 2-storied classroom building at the Almina Muslim Junior School in Polonnaruwa, built at a cost of 17.7 million rupees. New classroom building at the Hatamuna Primary School, built at a cost of 7.3 million rupees, was also declared open. Thereafter, the President has declared open the new 3-storied classroom building at the Rajarata College in Hinguragoda. The project has been completed at a cost of 23 million rupees. Four buildings in the Mahinda Central College in Madirigiriya were repaired at a cost of 6.9 million rupees under the Pibidemu Polonnaru District Development Program. The President took part in the ceremony held in connection with the opening of the buildings. The President said that the most excellent investment of a country is the investment on education. There is no any higher investment than this. The President further said that the expenditure on the health sector is also important. These investments will pave the way to create intellectuals and a healthy people. Education and health are the biggest long-term investments in the country. The President said that well-educated children will receive good jobs as well as knowledge. The President said that through their knowledge and good upbringing, the children will get a better understanding on the situation in the country. He also said that children will be able to identify both the competition, good nature as well as indecency and lack of knowledge. Such children could not be deceived by anybody, including politicians. The President further said that politicians deceive people, especially at election time. He added that, however, that learned persons could not be deceived.
It has been reported that air pollution in the city of Colombo has increased twofold than the normal level. Senior scientist of the Environmental Studies Division of the National Building Research Organization, Sajid Premadasa, says that an increase in air pollution in Delhi capital India has contributed to this situation. Air pollution in Delhi city is reported to have increased rapidly and an emergency situation has arisen regarding public health. The National Disaster Management Centre has also reported that the quality of dirt in the upper atmosphere of Colombo city has also gone up. It also says that the fog-like situation in upper sky is related to this condition, accordingly to the air pollution index. The level of air pollution in the city of Colombo is 155. The other towns affected by the condition are Battaramulla, Homagama and Kanda city. The air pollution level in Colombo and Battaramulla are said to be at a level not conducive to human body. Assistant Director Media of National Disaster Management Centre, Pradeep Kodipili, says that the situation may return to normal by tomorrow.
So the National Building and Research Organizations and the Central Environmental Authority that they have notified that there might be a heavy particle in the air above the Sri Lankan context. So some kind of the gases and the particles, the volume has been increased. We already, as a disaster management center, we already alerted the communities to be take precautions to minimize the health effect, especially the respiratory diseases, with the consultation of the Health Ministry. And we had a discussion between the Health Ministry and the Environmental Police, as well as the Central Environmental Authority and the National Building and Research Organization and the Meteorological Department. So it might get less and decrease in the situation and upper situation. So that might not be a strong condition by tomorrow.
Now the all shares price index closed at 5,956.52 points, dropped by 37.14 points, and the S&P SL20 index closed at 2,958.23 points, also dropped by 22.87 points at the end of trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 953 million rupees. That's all the stories we have for you today. We'll see you tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.